welding or say electric arc welding. Electric arc welding. Now, what is the meaning of arc? Arc means spark. Spark, you must have seen when the short circuits takes place in electric circuits, you can see that spark is seen there. So, the arc means a spark, and a spark generates heat. So, the purpose of arc welding is to join any two metals by melting the edges by generating heat with the help of electricity, right. So, here I have shown you a workpiece which is to be welded. So, you can see this is a workpiece, and this portion is electric arc, which is introduced by using electrode and workshop. Work means a job. So, here you can see you are getting 1 point from machine, which is welding machine, basically a transformer, step down transformer, where you are having 220 volts to 440 volts, which are converted to 80 to 100 volts, which is used for welding. Here is an electrode. One cable is attached to electrode, which is in the form of electrode holder, and the another is connected through a cable for earthing. So, when this circuit becomes complete, means when you touch A and B, the spark or say arc, electric arc is produced. This electric arc gives tremendous heat, which is sufficient to melt the job metal, which is to be welded. So, we are using here work, that is job, then electrode, which is held in electrode holder, and electrode holder is connected with the help of cable to the welding machine, and work is kept on the work table, which is metallic, and where earthing is done by using cable, and which is again connected to the welding machine, which is built of step down transformer, and this welding machine is connected through AC supply with 220 volt or maybe 440 volts. It depends what type of electric supply we are using. So, step down transformer are used to step down the usual supply voltage, which is 220 to 440 volts, to the normal open circuit for welding at voltage 50 to 90 volts or sometime 80 to 100 volts. So, this is the principle of arc welding, which we have explained here. So, you are using electrode which is connected to work job, and a spark is generated, created, and which helps in developing enormous heat, which heat is sufficient to melt the metal which is under welding, and a work bead. Work bead means a welding bead is formed with the help of electrode which is melting and penetrating the job to the suitable depth, and weld bead is formed. So, this is a process of welding by which we weld the job. Okay. This portion you can see here, we are taking 2 points, for one for electrode holder, where we are holding the electrode, and second point where a cable is coming to a work job for earthing. It is directly joined to work job if the work job is very bigger size, or sometime it is used on working table, welding working table, and it is earth by using cable direct to the welding table, and the job is placed on the metallic table which automatically gets connected through earth. So, earthing is not required when it is kept on metallic table. Now, selection of power source. Selection of power source, types of electrodes to be used and metals to be welded. Means when there is a selection of power, means you want to use AC or DC, it depends how the electrode you are going to use and which metal is going to be welded or joined. So, second point comes here, available of power source, whether you have availability of powers, alternative current say AC, or direct current, alternate current, alternating current, AC or DC. DC means direct current. So, the availability of power source matters in selection of power source. Duty cycle, required output, efficiency, and many other factors are also used for selection of power source. Tools and equipments. Tools and equipments. Tools and equipments used for arc welding. here is the electric arc welding. We use electrodes which are held in electrode holders. Second, we use earthing cable which is used to join welding machine to the working metallic table for welding. Hand screen. Hand screen is used for protecting eyes while working on welding application. Chipping hammer. It is used for removing slag from the workpiece. Wire brush is used for cleaning the surface of the job and removing the oxides. C-clamp for holding and supporting the job. V-block and apron. So you see here the electrode holders which we have already explained and is used for welding metals. It may be bare or may be coated with flux. We will discuss this. Earthing cable which is used for joining the metallic table used for keeping jobs and gives one point for connecting through welding machine. Hand screen. Hand screen is used for protecting eyes and inspecting the weld bead obtained during welding process. Protect eyes from welding spark or say arc. Now, chipping hammer. chipping hammer is somehow you can see प्लीज थोड़ा सा धीरे धीरे chisel shaped for removing slag by striking on welding weld bead. तो इससे चीजल शेप होता है, ये पॉइंटेड होता है और ये आपके पास इसका हैंडल अवेलेबल है. सो इट इज होल्ड थ्रू हैंडल एंड चिपिंग ऑफ अनवांटेड slag from the weld bead is done. So chipping hammer. Next is C-clamp. आप लोग जानते हैं, आपने इसको यूज किया है कारपेंट्री में. This is C-clamp and it is used for holding jobs. Like if you want to hold this type of job, is a job. So you can tight this by using handle and the workpiece is tightly firmed in the C-clamp. Now V-block. So V-block is also where you can hold round jobs having circular peripheral. Wire brush is a brush which is used for cleaning the upper surfaces of the workpieces. Apron is protecting clothing, ये कपड़े हैं जिनको कि आप पहनते हैं जब आप वेल्डिंग के प्रोसेस को करते हैं किसी जॉब को ज्वाइन करने के लिए, जिससे कि आपके बॉडी को डायरेक्ट हीट जो प्रोड्यूस होती है वेल्डिंग के ड्यूरेशन में, उससे आपको बचा जा सकता है. सो इट हेल्प्स टू कीप अवे फ्रॉम द exposure of direct heat to the body. Now the last we will discuss in detail is electrodes, welding electrodes. It is a piece of a wire or metal or a metal rod or of alloy with or without coating मीन्स अगर आप देखें इस तरह का जैसे इलेक्ट्रोड है और इसके आगे इस तरह का पकड़ने के लिए इसमें एक पॉइंट रहता है जहां पे मेटल की रॉड होती है एंड दिस इज अ कोटिंग ऑन द इलेक्ट्रोड. ये एक वेल्डिंग इलेक्ट्रोड है और कोटेड है, इसके ऊपर फ्लक्स लगा हुआ है. ये हिस्सा जो देख रहे हैं ये यहाँ पे आप इसको होल्डर में होल्ड कर लेते हैं और प्रॉपरली होल्डर में होल्ड करके आप इसको केबल से ये कनेक्ट होता है आपका जो ट्रांसफार्मर में जाता है. तो जब आप इसको इस वाले हिस्से को वर्क पीस पे, जैसे ये वर्क पीस है वर्क, और इसको जब आप इस पे टच करेंगे यानी स्ट्राइक करेंगे हल्का सा, तो इसमें क्योंकि ये अर्थ हो रखा है केबल के थ्रू, अर्थिंग इसकी हो रखी है, तो ये जैसे ही सर्किट होगा यहाँ पे एक स्पार्क क्रिएट होगा और ये स्पार्क से ये इसमें हीट जनरेट हो जाएगी. तो जैसे ही हीट जनरेट होगी तो यू विल स्टार्ट डूइंग वेल्डिंग. तो ये जब आप वेल्डिंग करेंगे तो इसके ऊपर ये कुछ हिस्से तक गला देगा मेटल को और गला के इसको जॉइंट करना शुरू कर देगा. तो जो मेटल आपका पिघला हुआ होता है वो तो यहाँ पे आ जाता है और जो हल्का स्लैग होता है यानी कि जो फ्लक्स जल के ऊपर आ जाता है, क्योंकि ये मेटल से हल्का होता है और इसको हमेशा हल्का ही यूज किया जाता है कि भारी अगर होगा तो ये मेटल में मिक्स होगा, जिससे कि आपका जो जॉइंट है मशीन जो प्रोसेस के थ्रू आपका जॉइंट बनेगा वो वीकर होगा और टूट जाता है. तो अवॉइड दिस, ये हल्का होता है तो ये ऊपर आ जाता है और इसको हम क्या करते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ चिपिंग हैमर हम इसको रिमूव भी कर सकते हैं. सो यू कैन सी the use, so इसमें हम, it is wire or wire rod of a metal or alloy with or without coatings. An arc is set up between electrode and workpiece and heat is generated to complete the welding process. Classification, इसका इलेक्ट्रोड का जो क्लासिफिकेशन है वो आप देख लीजिए. क्लासिफिकेशन, इसमें हम लोग लेते हैं कंज्यूमेबल इलेक्ट्रोड्स, कंज्यूमेबल इलेक्ट्रोड्स और दूसरा लेते हैं नॉन कंज्यूमेबल इलेक्ट्रोड्स. मींस एक इलेक्ट्रोड तो जब आप प्रोसेस करेंगे वेल्डिंग का तो उसमें कंज्यूम होना शुरू हो जाएगा, यानी कि वो जैसे इतना बड़ा इलेक्ट्रोड है और आपने वेल्डिंग यूज की तो यहाँ पे आके इतना छोटा हो जाएगा और ये कंज्यूम होके ये साइज अगर ओरिजिनल इसका था तो L माइनस L1 इज इक्वल टू L2 और ये L से हमेशा छोटा रहेगा. तो आफ्टर यूजिंग दिस कंज्यूमेबल इलेक्ट्रोड्स आपने नोटिस किया कि ये कंज्यूम हो जाता है. ये दो तरह के होते हैं, एक तो बेयर, it has no coating and it is made of metal or alloy which is directly used without using flux. So ये बेयर हो गया और एक होता है ये बेयर इलेक्ट्रोड और दूसरा होता है कोटेड electrodes. Coated means it is coated the metal. बेयर इलेक्ट्रोड जो था उसके ऊपर कुछ कोटिंग कर दी हमने. किस चीज की कोटिंग कर दी? फ्लक्स की कोटिंग कर दी. और ये जो फ्लक्स होता है इसकी कोटिंग करने से मेल्टिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोड टेक्स प्लेस ड्यूरिंग वेल्डिंग प्रोसेस एंड फ्लक्स हेल्प्स इन मेल्टिंग एंड मेकिंग अ गुड weld bead on the jobs. So इसके हेल्प से आप अच्छा वेल्डिंग का जो प्रोसेस है कर पाते हैं. Now the non consumable electrodes, it is made of carbon or graphite which are having high melting points. तो कार्बन ग्रेफाइट इलेक्ट्रोड्स होते हैं और नेक्स्ट होते हैं दूसरे जो है टंगस्टन इलेक्ट्रोड्स. It may be of pure tungsten or may be alloys. So these are the types, classification of electrodes. वेल्डिंग रॉड्स भी आप इसको बोलते हैं. नॉन कंज्यूमेबल इलेक्ट्रोड्स आर मेड ऑफ हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट मटेरियल्स, कार्बन, प्योर टंगस्टन और एलॉय टंगस्टन. Alloy tungsten, oxidation and vaporization of electrodes materials also takes place during welding. Means when you use non-consumable electrodes, still the electrodes are shortening because some of the part of electrode during high temperatures, this portion of electrodes which is directly in contact with arc evaporates, say vaporization takes place, and the size of the electrodes is shortened. So, copper coated electrodes of carbon and graphite, pure tungsten or zirconiated tungstens are used for making non-consumable electrodes. Flux, last, is a flux which we have already discussed, but you also note following 2-3 points. Flux. Different type of fluxes are used. It should be dissolved. It should be dissolved the scale, say oxide, present on the surface of the job so that it may be float on the surface and later removed by chipping. Borax and sodium carbonate as a flux is commonly used for ferrous metals. Some of questions I am giving you. Okay, I will give on next.